Hi, everybody. Welcome to KarissaP Wellness. I am KarissaP. So, in this space, you're going to find all things for midlife health, whether it be nutrition, movement, mindset, and feeling your best, because I truly believe education leads to empowerment, and empowerment is going to lead you to thrive. So, whether you're here navigating hormonal changes, or looking for simple, healthy recipes, or you just want to get stronger and focus on movement, I am here to help you with that and help you to be confident in this next chapter of life and help you thrive. So, you're in the right place, and I just want to introduce myself to you all and give you a little background about why I'm here. So, I started my career in finance and I climbed that corporate ladder. I became a finance and data analytics manager, was my most recent corporate career. And I always had a passion for health and wellness. So, everything I would do would be on the side. Essentially, I'd do lots of research, nutrition, movement, all of that. I always was teaching group fitness from college on. Do you remember step aerobics? So that's how I started. And then in 2012, I got my yoga teacher training certificate. So I went through a 200-hour teacher training program. And I was teaching yoga on the side as a little side hustle while I worked my corporate job. And then in the meantime, I decided I wanted to start a food blog in 2015. So I launched Eat, Breathe, Love, which was my play on Eat, Pray, Love, except for the breathe part was for all things yoga related because I was really deep in my yoga practice then. And the love piece was focused really around travel and products that I like. I've always adopted a healthy living. I had a lot of movement based practices in my life, and I mostly eat organic and, just a lot of self research. And so in 2018, I had my baby. And then after that, for the first year and a half of her life, I didn't really do a lot of movement. I let myself, kind of fall to the wayside and put everybody else first. And in 2018, or I'm sorry, in 2020, I finally got back on the bandwagon and started working out again through the Beachbody platform. So I didn't have time to drive to the gym or to spend an hour at a yoga class when I still had to work full time and come home and take care of my daughter. So that was my only way that I could get movement in. Then we all know what happened, enter COVID, and that was really the only way I could get movement in my body. So, long story short, I climbed the corporate ladder, but I was really just burning myself out. I was working a lot of hours and I loved my job. I loved my company. I loved my job. I loved my team, but I wasn't putting myself first. And in 2023, our company offered managers even opportunity to take a buyout from our company. And something in my gut told me that I did. So I set on a new adventure, essentially, trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up as a midlife woman. I entered into the real estate market because my background was in finance and mortgages, and I knew that the two would translate. And just something with real estate just wasn't leaving me fulfilled. But in the meantime, I finally had a lot more time on my hands, and I really submerged myself back into that wellness world. So I was listening to a lot of wellness podcasts and personal development podcasts, and I was listening to an episode of Mel Robbins one day, and she had on a doctor, Dr. Mary Claire Haver, who is really, really big in the menopause space. And as a 41-year-old at the time, I was walking outside and the title of the podcast popped up. And I was like, ugh, menopause. I don't need to care about this. Like, this is so far away. I'm still 40s, like early 40s. I don't need to care about this. Something in my gut told me to stay. And as I did, I started listening to the podcast and I realized, oh, wow, like that's me right now. Am I in perimenopause? Is this why I feel the way I feel? And down the rabbit hole I went. So I started doing a lot of self-education in the perimenopause space, listening to a million podcasts, doctor-based podcasts even. Most of what I was listening to was in the medical field about perimenopause, reading books, reading articles, really just diving headfirst in. And then one day I was at coffee with my girlfriend, and her and I were talking, and it was a girl that is now my girlfriend, but at the time I just really met. And she was like, so you're in real estate. I don't know. You just light up more when you're talking about health and wellness and perimenopause. You really should be a perimenopause health coach. And, she planted the seed and I kind of buried it for a little bit, but I was still doing a lot of research, still doing a lot of education. And then all of a sudden I started thinking, well, is this even a thing? Can I really actually do this? And lo and behold, you could. And so now I am certified in perimenopause and menopause health. And I am helping women in their midlife realize that menopause isn't something that we're just here to survive and suffer through, but that we actually can thrive during this transition in our life. So we don't have to suck it up. We don't have to deal with it. There are actually tools, and with the right education and empowerment, ways for us to advocate for ourselves in the medical community so that we truly can feel like that version of ourselves again. So we can feel like our best selves. And so through that, I am now on this mission to really just educate and empower women during their midlife transition to realize it's not all bad and it can actually be good. And getting to the root instead of just the symptoms, instead of just solving for the symptoms, and really dealing with the root issue, which is that our hormones are fluctuating. And that's okay. That's what our bodies are meant to do. And we don't only get to age, but we get to age well if we take care of ourselves. So that's what you're going to find on this account. A lot of that education around midlife and all of the things that go along with making sure that you're setting your 80-year-old self up for success through movement, mindfulness, and nutrition. So I'm so excited that you're here watching this channel, and I can't wait to share with you a bunch of the goodness to come.